Europe Media Lab, it started as Fondation Euractiv. You recognize the yellow color. It's a think, do, tank, and we have three main activities. One is policy work to help the sustainability of the media sector, notably regarding disinformation, the fight against it. Secondly, we developed a number of innovation programs called Stars4Media. Since 5 years, we have helped 130 media companies to work across border on technology and editorial projects. And the newest project is the Maison du Media Lab to help the presence of Eastern European media in Brussels. So the Maison du Media Lab starts from a practical experience that we did, my wife and I, hosting a refugee journalist from Ukraine. She started with hardly any English and no studies in the West. Within 1 year, she became a correspondent for one of the main TV channels of Ukraine, plus Radio France Internationale. And we don't need this house anymore. Our kids are grown up. So we thought we can devote this house under the leadership of the Media Lab to other journalists from Eastern Europe. And because of a very good coaching and training program, introducing them in the press corps, we think in 6 months they can become very good correspondents. So we had this event on Monday, showing strong political support from the Commission and the Parliament for this project. We also thanked our individual donors, and we had a garden party at the Maison du Media Lab on Sunday, which shows that there is enormous goodwill around this project. It will be inaugurated in January with the journalists selected by then. We do the selection together with the Association de la Presse Internationale, the accredited correspondents, and with the European Federation of Journalists, gathering all the trade unions. This event was about preparing the media sector for the future in a European context, and we think there are main two drivers for that. The main one, which depends on the EU institutions, is providing a good legislative framework. And the second dimension, which people are not focusing on yet, is enlargement. Regarding the first point, I think we all agreed that the past mandate has been a good one in terms of legislative development. So we now have a frame in place in order to rebalance the ecosystem between the media, us, and the platforms, all in the spirit of improving the quality of the information landscape and therefore fighting against disinformation. As for enlargement, very little has been done for the moment, apart from short-term help and apart from insisting on rule of law and press freedom. So now we need to get into the practicalities of involving still the Central European media, a bit weak, and now also increasingly the Eastern European media. One very newsworthy point is the organization of the European Commission. We, together with the director of EDMO, European Digital Media Observatory, have recommended to have one democracy commissioner, and media would fall under that. Basically, Vera Jourova, the vice president who was speaking at the event, has done the job without the staff, without the budget, and without a DG. We would like somebody who does the job with a budget and a DG. So the media sector is very weak in the East, a bit like it was in Central Europe a long time ago. We all complain about the importance of oligarchs and interference by the government. Putting the right laws in place is important, but it's not enough. And frankly, sometimes the laws will not be implemented well in any case. So it's important to strengthen the sustainability on their own of these medias. Why do oligarchs buy medias? Because they are cheap and they can gain influence for very little money. If they were more affluent, it would not be a problem for them to remain independent. And then there is a very practical angle of this, which is the capacity for Eastern European media to cover EU and NATO affairs. EU, we all think about it. NATO is as important for them as the EU. The main focus we would like to have in this sector is not legislative. having more laws, more declarations on press freedom, etc., is important, is necessary, but is not sufficient. One needs to focus a lot more about the economic sustainability. The package that is existing as a kind of toolbox in Brussels is strong. DSA, DMA, AI Act, the European Media Freedom Act, the anti-SLAPP legislation, all this is good. The way it will be implemented will be essential. Most of it is directives, so it's necessary to check the legal implementation in member states, but it's not enough. Right now, there are interesting media programs around different DGs of the European Commissions and agencies, but they are a little bit scattered. They do have one thing in common: it's very little money. Compared with the huge amounts which are spent on R&D, the media innovation programs are very little. Stars4Media that we developed is one of the flagships of the Journalism Partnership Program, itself part of Creative Europe, but it's a very, very tiny proportion. And I'm not advocating just for our program. It's very difficult for non-insiders, people who are not in Brussels, to get access to those innovation funds, and therefore we suggest a better communication and more money so that local, regional media can also access these innovation funds from Europe. We think that AI can be a support to journalists' work, but the final decisions have to be done by journalists and then by editors-in-chief. They should hold the levers. They will be moderators, curators more than ever, but they should still hold the levers. And for that, it's important, as I said, to have sustainability, economic sustainability of the media, so that these journalists can be paid. Combating disinformation is even more important in a war situation. There are several roles for the media to play. First of all, on the ground, to show the truth. It's explaining what is the situation in countries at war like Ukraine. It's important to show also positive aspects of the country. And then for policy media like Euractiv, Politico and many others which feed into other media, it's important to show a perspective. And all this needs to be fed by correct information. The EU and NATO should not be dreams. It will be a long process with opportunities, with constraints as well, and it's the role of the media to explain this.